Still looking at that crash alert for you if you're to be taking bridge. Still watching the Acosta Bridge. Today is looking some major about 30 minutes now. If you're going to a Han Smart Shopping has been named. This news squad is just about a mile away from where the fire started, allowing for a quick response time that made all the difference. Yes, Vic, it's actually rare that we do hear a response from an owner. This week, we not only heard back, but one tells me he plans to file a complaint with the state. The SUV was first spotted by an FHP trooper driving reckless on Old St. Augustine at 295. A chase began and continued across the Buckman Bridge until the intersection of Blanding, where a pit maneuver was performed, and the SUV came to a crashing stop. The story here, though, really isn't the crash. Everyone looks to be okay. Never saw an ambulance come around. People are up and about out of their cars. It's the delays here that we're talking about. The delays really start at 295 and continue down to Cassett. They've had 2 emergency shutdowns in just the past 2 months, and the reasons are the exact same as before. The roof is in such poor condition, it's actually caving in here, leaving the Teutons no choice but to bathe in one of their sinks. Good morning, Bruce and Mel. From Lake City to Jacksonville Beach, local restaurants were caught off guard and unprepared for routine inspections, and they did have some gross violations this week. Good morning, Bruce and Mel. If you're not already familiar, K9s for Warriors is a program for veterans with military trauma to receive a free service dog. This morning, we're introducing you to Army veteran Gabriel, who received his dog, Chris, out of the program. As usual, we reached out to the restaurant management for comment, but I haven't heard back yet. If I do, I'll post their response in this story on newsforjax.com. Team Joe Strong has already raised more than $78,000, but their goal is $100,000. And if you want to help the team meet their goal, we've posted those details of how you can do so on our website. Now, your donation today goes twice as far, today only, because every donation made is going to be matched up to $1.2 million. Emily Boyer, Channel 4, the local station.
A police chase on my way to work.
James Bellenick had just come off the Buckman Bridge when he noticed police lights in the far distance.
You know, typical, someone got pulled over. Nothing new there. I realized it was a police chase, so I decided to pull out my phone.
And he wasn't expecting what happened next.
What?
Police now have the driver, Brett Barsani, in custody, charged with eluding police, reckless driving, and armed drug possession.
Ever.
The SUV was first spotted by an FHP trooper driving reckless on Old St. Augustine at 295. A chase began and continued across the Buckman Bridge until the intersection of Blanding, where a pit maneuver was performed, and the SUV came to a crashing stop. Jail records show Bersani is still in the hospital. FHP says he's not seriously injured, but had a minor laceration from the crash. Bellenick, who filmed this video, says this is not something he'll forget anytime soon, or at least until the next crazy Florida thing happens.
I just feel like living in Florida, there's nothing new there. Just a typical day in Florida.
Not everyone who saw this crash felt the same and left some counting their blessings.
To survive through that's definitely a blessing. You have to pay attention when you're driving, and that was very dangerous.
Reporting in Jacksonville, Emily Boyer, Channel 4, the local station. This news squad is just about a mile away from where the fire started, allowing for a quick response time that made all the difference. Shows a 4-story apartment building under construction burning to the ground early Sunday morning, and the fire could be seen for miles. Station 63, located nearby at Gate Parkway near JTB and I-295, was the first engine to respond, proving its worth to some taxpayers who doubted if the station was needed. Councilman Danny Becton led the push to get the station approved. He's thankful to see that effort paid off.
That fire could have very easily got out of control and encroached on a neighborhood that's already seen its share of a few homes damaged by fire.
The station just opened in September. It's made up of a trailer and a 2-bay garage right now. while construction for the permanent firehouse is in the works.
We don't have to have more stations than we need, but we can have a station in the right place at the right location.
Councilman Becton says that's why he's working to get another fire station approved. It would be located south of Station 63.
Now I hope in this year to be announcing this new station that will fulfill the requirements that we have here in the south part of our county.
Reporting in Jacksonville, Emily Boyer, the local station. The violations this week are all over the board. Roaches, leaking toilet paper water, and of course, what's a restaurant report without an exact count of rodent droppings? Starting with the well-reviewed and beloved Surf Restaurant, Bar, and Beach Motel in Fernandina Beach, this seafood restaurant was closed for 5 days after a routine inspection found 18 live roaches and 8 dead ones on October 15th. The restaurant posted on social media that it was closed due to plumbing issues. There may have been plumbing issues, but they were not noted in neither the first or second inspection. The Surf is open again after 2 follow-up inspections. Urban Grind Coffee was closed with over 10 violations, including 30 rodent droppings that were found. Quick to correct, the downtown coffee house reopened the next day with a near-perfect inspection. 41 dead roaches and 10 live ones kept the Sea Oats Cafe in St. Augustine closed for a full week. It first closed October 11th. The report shows a total of 13 violations, including live roaches. It reopened this Monday after a passing inspection. It was raw sewage that closed the McDonald's on Atlantic Boulevard in Regency that same day. An inspector wrote that they found gray water with toilet paper leaking from a mobile bathroom, and there was no hand washing sink. A note in the report says the in-building restrooms were closed because they were being renovated. The McDonald's reopened Monday after fixing those issues. I'm also learning that a restaurant from last week's restaurant report is still closed from rodent droppings. You can find that update on news4jax.com. Back to you. Bringing you just one of those things that you really just don't see that often. Probably just before 11, we got word that a semi had hit a bridge. This is in Jacksonville at Albert Street at the intersection of Albert Street with Palmetto. I spoke to officers on scene here who said that there was actually a crash on top of the bridge here, which is just prior to the Arlington Expressway. It had closed the bridgeway right there and sent all the traffic there coming off the exits. Well, this truck here behind me, a Florida Food Service tractor trailer truck, had come off the exit and was trying to clear this bridge here behind me. Only problem, the bridge has a clearance of 11 feet 11 inches, and this trailer over here is about 13 feet. So you probably can understand what happened from there. I'll turn the camera around to show you a little look at it. I did speak to police here on scene. They said the driver's okay, and I also spoke to the driver too. He's actually sitting over there under the bridge right now, but look at the top. You can see that probably wasn't a great thing. There's some damage to the bridge as well, but really not much. Next to the clearance sign, there's 2 what used to be flashing lights. You got the light hanging down in between those 2 lanes there, and doesn't look like anything structural. Good morning, Facebook Live. We just got some news down from the FDA and the CDC that they are recommending an immediate pause of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. They made the announcement here just about 30 minutes ago. We did learn from the Gateway Mall site and the FEMA manager there that Gateway will also be discontinuing use of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. This information just came down here this morning. We also know that Publix was expected to have a new rollout of Johnson & Johnson vaccines starting next week, and we are waiting to hear from them if they will be continuing the use of Johnson & Johnson, although it's not expected because we're hearing from the FDA, and I'm just pulling up their Twitter here on the statement that they released this morning. They discontinued the use of the vaccine over blood clot concerns. I'll flip the camera around here and show you. This is a story we have up on News4Jax right now. So they said today the FDA and CDC issued a statement regarding the Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine. They're recommending an immediate pause in use of the vaccine out of an abundance of caution.